every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Tyrus, I was talking about this in the 5, that I kind of like her for being, she's like a retro 70s mom.
Yeah, you like
Everyone looked like her.
Why don't you have dinner with her, Greg?
Tyrus just did what absolutely nobody saw coming. He called out California's very own PowerPoint queen, Katie Porter. Yeah, the man, built like a tank, just walked straight into California politics like it's WrestleMania. But here's the twist. Why is a wrestling champ roasting a politician famous for her whiteboard takedowns? Did someone forget to tag him in the debate? Because this clash of muscles versus markers is about to get hilariously messy. Grab your popcorn. This is California chaos at its finest.
Don't order the potatoes, Greg.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, there's nothing nice about her. Why do we have to, like, in her defense, I was waiting for the practical, usual woman defense. Whenever someone, why did you do that? Well, they did something to upset me. It was somebody else's fault. There's no accountability, nothing new. So, yeah, you didn't like that, did you, ladies? Because you guys do that stuff. But the worst part about her is that it's Halloween, and she's coming out now.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, smash that like button and hit subscribe, because you know you don't want to miss this one. California politics has always been a circus. But this time, the ringmaster showed up wearing a power blazer and a glare sharp enough to cut solar panels. Katie Porter, the self-declared queen of accountability, somehow managed to turn accountability into a hostage situation.
Scary. Oh, it's scary. Like, if she jumped out of a dark alley, I would throw you in front of me to get away from her. And she's done this before. She has scared everybody in this audience in our childhood. Remember Pee Wee Herman?
Yeah.
When he was on the road in Texas, Large Marge rolled up. It was that one right there. Kennedy's having the flashback.
I said that the other day on the 5.
And just when she thought she was waltzing her way into the governor's mansion, Tyrus stepped into the chat. Because apparently, the circus needed a bouncer. It started innocent enough. The crew on the 5 were sipping coffee, probably debating which California disaster to joke about next. Wildfires, gas prices, or the vanishing act of affordable rent.
Play that. This is what she's trying to say.
President Biden has said that inflation is the #1 priority for the Biden White House to try to get under control right now. As you're out there in California talking to constituents during this re-election year for Congress, how does inflation compare to this newly important, in the sense of the Supreme Court decision pending, abortion issue? How do those two issues compare?
Watch this, not compare.
Well, I don't think they compare. I think they actually reinforce each other.
Watch.
And someone mentioned Katie Porter, and suddenly the mood switched from morning banter to full-on Halloween special. Tyrus and Greg Gutfeld went to work like 2 over-caffeinated psychiatrists. One said she looked like a retro 70s mom. The other said she had reverse charisma. And that's when America collectively went, oh yeah, politics really is just pro wrestling with better lighting.
Hate. You love to hate. Our video of the day comes from that lump of grumpy potatoes, Katie Porter, who wants to be California's next governor. She was recently asked if more damning clips of her might be released, which is like asking Jesse Waters if he's offended any foreigners lately. She refused to say.
Should California voters feel confident that there aren't any more Katie Porter videos out there?
Well, what I know is that I could have done better in those moments. I'm going to be focused on earning their votes and earning their trust.
Tyrus didn't even have to say much. His face said it all. Half disbelief, half I fought men twice my size and still found this woman scarier. Because let's be honest, Katie Porter doesn't enter a room. She arrives. Like a strict substitute teacher who just canceled recess for everyone. You can almost hear the chalk squeak when she launches into another moral lecture about economics. California doesn't need a governor. It needs a guidance counselor with anger management. And that's what made Tyrus's call out so satisfying. It wasn't personal. It was public service. Someone had to remind her that leadership isn't supposed to feel like detention. Greg Gutfeld sealed the deal with that perfect diagnosis: reverse charisma, the kind that doesn't draw people in. It sends them running for the exits.
Reminds me of
Beulah
like my
ball breaker
friends'
from the
mothers
Porkies?
when I was a kid. There's like something very retro about her. But Molly, you know what she has? She has reverse charisma. You know, like when charisma is if you have power and empathy, because people like Bill Clinton. He had power, but he had empathy, and then he tried to bang you. She has like reverse empathy where she has power, but she lords it over the people that are in her like employment.
And what's so weird about this is she's a politician. And you might think they're cruel and narcissistic, and she's like definitely showing that, but usually they're good at like hiding it.
It's like human bug spray. She walks into a diner, and suddenly everyone remembers an urgent appointment. When her campaign ad comes on, even her fans change the channel to the weather, just to feel joy again. Greg was joking, but he wasn't wrong. Porter's got power, credentials, and fury, but zero warmth. It's like watching a Hallmark movie directed by Quentin Tarantino. Every line's a confrontation, every smile's a dare. Tyrus didn't need stats or policy. His punchline hit harder than a body slam, because accountability always seems optional for the people who preach it the loudest.
She ought to just embrace it at this point, because it's all out there. She should just say, look, I throw mashed potatoes at people. I'm a total nightmare. I berate my staff, but I'm going to work hard for you, the voter, because there's no getting out from this.
What are the chances of Katie Porter actually winning and becoming the governor of California?
If she's the Democratic nominee, because of the way that the registered voters are and what they appear to be showing, it's about 85%, 90% right now.
And here's where the irony gets delicious. She's running in a state that loves to brag about diversity of thought, but operates more like a political HOA. One party, one script, one never-ending lecture. Tyrus nailed it. California's the ultimate echo chamber. You don't need charisma or ideas to win there. Just say equity 3 times and the media appears like Beetlejuice with a microphone. Porter didn't just survive in that system. She was built for it. But comfort breeds carelessness, and that's when she slipped. That viral clip where she admitted in full DMV energy that she doesn't really like people who vote differently? Yeah, that's the one. And that's why Tyrus's roast hit so hard. It wasn't cruel, it was truth with timing.
What I do know is that I could have done better in that situation.
But that's not a no. So is there potentially another video that we're going to see?
Nikki, I'm going to be honest with you. I know that video was several years ago, as you know, and I apologize to the staffer. That's super important to me, and will continue to try to hold myself to do better. That's what I can promise.
The more a politician refuses to answer a question.
Somewhere, her campaign team must be sweating bullets, because empathy polls better than intimidation. But California voters are unique. They say they want compassion, then elect people who look like they'd fine them for breathing too loud. Greg twisted the knife perfectly, comparing her to politicians who at least pretended to have warmth. Clinton had empathy. Obama had charm. Reagan had a smile. Even Trump had humor. Porter? She's got a PowerPoint and a scowl. Her leadership feels like punishment wrapped in policy. Ask 10 voters how she makes them feel. 9 say nervous. The 10th just apologizes. Tyrus joked she looks like she'd jump out of a dark alley on Halloween. And honestly, that's her best campaign strategy so far.
These examples of Katie Porter's behavior, accusations of blaming staff for giving her COVID using racist language, covering up sexual harassment, domestic violence against her ex-husband. She was even accused of burning his scalp with potatoes. Ouch. And others saying she just wants fame and power. Gotta be nice to that staff. All accusations at this point, but there seems to be a pattern of alleged physical and verbal abuse. Joining me.
Then came the nostalgia roast. That retro 70s mom line hit because it's true. She's like the PTA president of democracy. I'm not mad, just disappointed. Except you know she's both. You can practically hear the 1976 funk music in the background. Even Kennedy couldn't resist joining in, like she just saw a ghost from an old Pee Wee Herman sketch. You can picture the campaign ad. Black and white footage, thunder rumbling, Porter's face in the rearview mirror shouting, "Don't litter or else." It was pure comedy gold, with a truth bomb baked in, because Porter's whole vibe is what happens when competition dies and entitlement thrives.
I will say I think that her performance here proves that she's ready for the national stage.
Yes.
She took control of the interview the way she'll take control of our nation's problems. No, I don't believe that, but I do believe that that is what everyone on her staff told her.
Yeah.
I think that she's walking around being like, I nailed this, because if that is how she acts on camera when she knows she's being recorded, then how do you think she acts off camera if someone actually criticizes her?
And that's what made Tyrus's jab land. He's not pretending to be a political expert. He's the everyman calling out the absurd. Watching him dismantle Porter's persona felt like someone finally saying, "Hey, the emperor's new clothes. Yeah, they were bought with taxpayer money." Greg kept the roast rolling, peeling away the layers until it turned into a full-on therapy session for everyone sick of California politics. The five didn't just make jokes. They exposed something real. Somewhere between climate pledges and social lectures, progressives lost the humor gene. Porter doesn't entertain, she enforces. And California keeps mistaking intimidation for leadership.
So the campaign manager for Katie Porter allegedly told her, "You looked bad the other night." She said, "You mean the interview?" And he said, "What interview?"
Now imagine that energy on a national stage. A leader who sees kindness as weakness and disagreement as disobedience. That's what the five were really pointing out. Not just a candidate, but a mindset. Someone with power but no empathy. A politician who treats citizens like students who failed the homework. It wasn't just a roast. It was a reality check. Greg even coined a new political science term, reverse charisma in American politics. And Tyrus, with his deadpan delivery, just summed up what everyone's thinking, but too polite to say. Every election season, Porter shows up like the ghost of unrealized accountability, haunting optimism and bankrupting patience.
The fact that things like inflation can happen and it can become more expensive to feed your kids and to fuel your car.
Have an abortion.
Is exactly why people need to be able to be in charge of how many mouths they're going to have to feed.
So
I think the fact that we're seeing this jump in expenses.
Am I taking crazy pills?
That we're seeing people having to pay more in the grocery store, pay more at the pump.
Can you stop it? Guys,
housing.
you understand that? She's saying, guys, listen, and this is during Biden, right? She's like, groceries are going to be expensive, so if you're pregnant, that should be a reason for you to kill the baby in your...
And of course, the Trump comparison. She clearly wants that same unapologetic energy, but forgot the entertainment part. Trump says something wild. Half the country laughs, the other half screams. Porter says something wild, and everyone just quietly closes their laptops. Being bold only works when people enjoy watching you do it. Otherwise, it's just televised scolding. Trump entertains. Porter enforces. One rallies crowds, the other lectures them. And in 2025, that difference is everything. Because in politics, likability is strategy, and she's flunking that subject.
I cannot stop thinking about Katie Porter. The dumbest thing she can do is what she tried to do in that interview with Julie Watts, where she plasters this miserable, pained, fake smile on her face. Like, I don't want this to get negative. I just want this to be positive because I'm such a good person. I'm a leader. I'm a strong leader.
Meanwhile, California's still doing its slow motion collapse. Housing's unaffordable, crime's normalized, and lawmakers are busy debating plastic bags. So yeah, Tyrus's words hit deeper than just jokes. He wasn't roasting one politician. He was calling out the whole show. Her campaign preaches empathy, but her tone screams detention, and the five turned that contradiction into prime-time comedy. A wrestler and a satirist, exposing the emotional void in modern liberal politics. Beneath the laughs, it was truth, cold, clear, and overdue. Because Porter doesn't need a scandal to lose charisma. Her attitude handles that just fine.
Be the Democrat nominee. And then from there, you just look at the voting. And by the way, I think it's close. I think the Republican candidate crosses 40, which would be unusual. But I would see, what if you see like a 57-41-3, because Green Libertarian? Mm-hmm. You see something like that, suddenly you realize that there's a shift.
So now, every time Californians see another Katie Porter ad, they won't just see a candidate. They'll see Large Marge, spirit of lectures past. They'll hear Tyrus's voice echoing, reminding them that leadership without warmth is just power in drag. They'll remember Greg's reverse charisma theory every time she scolds instead of inspires. And maybe, just maybe, California will remember how to laugh again. Because sometimes, comedy isn't just entertainment. It's balance. Katie Porter wanted to rule California with conviction. Instead, she gave the country a reason to giggle. And the moral of the story? Never pick a fight with someone who's better at punchlines than policies.